Assalamualaikum. This is Engineering and Society Section 3P. We are from Group 6. I am Aliza Azmi. Now I will present about our case of study, the collapse of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. The Tacoma Narrow Bridge is a pair of twin suspension bridges that span the Tacoma Narrow Strait of Puget in Pierce County, Washington. Historically, in 7th November 1940, this bridge collapsed only after 4 months of opening, due to aeroelastic flutter that happened because of vertical movement of the deck during the windy conditions. As an engineer, we have an ethics or codes that we must follow. Following through the codes of ethics for engineers, which has mentioned that it is an engineer's duty to ensure that our designs are safe to the public. Therefore, later my groupmate will explain for more about our slide presentation. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Sita Rafari binti Ismail, TG18025 Section 3P. Today I will be presenting about description of literature of the Tacoma Narrow Bridge. Speculation. This first speculation for the collapse of the Tacoma Narrow Bridge collapse is suspected to be due to the structure failure. Collapse to aerodynamic instability also visible in Imperial Bridge and making explicit comparison with other bridge. He views the structure failure as a consequence of a manifested instability. The TNB collapsed because its dynamic instability created torsional oscillation, which in turn caused the structure failure. Second speculation is flutter. The vibrational movement of the object increases an aerodynamic load, which in turn drives the object to move further. Afterward, the third hypothesis is aerodynamic effect. There were no recorded instances of the oscillation being otherwise than the two cables in phase and with no torsional motion. Actual reason behind the tragedy. The overall design of the bridge resulted in a structure that was weak in torsion and moved relatively easily in the strong wind. The wind impacted the bridge, the force twice the road bed until it hit a point where it was constrained by the suspended cables, and then it twists back in the other direction. The first design proposed for the Tacoma Narrow Bridge was a conventional suspension bridge that was estimated to cost 11 million. The estimate price of the approved design was of $3 million cheaper. Rescue action. 3 people attempt to save the dog. Professor F.B. Farquharson, who of the brave professor, he managed to get to the car and even to get near the dog. In all cases, they were unsuccessful. Cotsworth was awarded for the loss of his car and for the contents of his vehicle. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good evening. My name is Nur Ismani Zulaika binti Muhammadin, EC 18070 from Section 3P, Group 6. We'll be presenting the aftermath of the Tacoma Narrow Bridge. Firstly, the restoration process. Efforts to salvage the bridge began almost immediately after its collapse and continued in May 1943, with still being a valuable community because of the involvement of the United States in World War II. Steel from the bridge cable and the suspension span was sold as scrap metal to be melted down. Next, the cable anchorages, tower pedestal, and most of the remaining substructure were relatively undamaged in the collapse, and were reused during construction of the replacement span that opened in 1950. Next, the news and scandal highlight. The day after the Tacoma Narrow Bridge collapsed, newspaper was full of accounts. There were news of fraud in connection with one of the policy. Hallett R. French, an agent for the Merchant Fire Assurance Company, was charged with grand licensee with making use of $800,000 worth of insurance. However, two months after that, on January 11, 1941, the newspaper reported that he had been relieved from his position. This is due to that he was fired by the PWI. Next, the impact to the peninsula residents. Disappointment ran high in Tacoma. The military lost its vital link between the preparatory Navy Yard and the Army installation at the McChord Field and Camp Lewis for the duration of World War II. Restoring ferry service for cross-narrow travelers got top priority. For many peninsula residents, the narrow bridge had been a lifeline connecting their rural area to the commercial center in Tacoma and even Seattle. Lastly, the death of tree worker. 3 men lost their lives during construction of the current narrow bridge. For fellow workers honored their sacrifice in the July Tacoma Museum. The group worked for the day and went downtown Tacoma to hold a wake. The first victim was Robert E. Drake, May 24, 1948. He was a carpenter. Drake worked for Woodworth Company. He and his fellow worker has been busy at the West Anchorage. On May 24, Drake happened to be in the wrong place at the worst possible moment. He stood below a derrick, just a cable broke, sending the boom crashing down on him. Next, Glenn Whitey Davis, the unknown. One of the iron workers who helped build the deck was Glenn Whitey Davis. He and Earl White worked still on the same crew. Lastly, Lauren S. Stewart Gay, April 7, 1954. It was a Friday afternoon. Stewart Gay was working on deck construction, helping to connect trusses in the roof support system. Worker faced the greatest danger during the deck construction phase. That's all for me. I will now pass it to you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Nazmi bin Muhammad Rosli. ID number EA18191. First of all, I want to thank my friend Isma for the aftermath presentation. Now, let's take a look at analysis and recommendation. The first is utilitarianism. What is utilitarianism? Utilitarianism holds that those actions are good if it serves to maximize human well-being. The emphasis in utilitarianism is not on maximizing the well-being of the individual, but rather on maximizing the well-being of society as a whole, and such as it is somewhat of a collectivist approach. For example, the building of a dam is acceptable, although the ecology and local household, since it benefits society with the drinking water and avoiding floods. Actually, there are two main flavors in utilitarianism. The first one is act utilitarianism. Secondly, it is rule utilitarianism. Act utilitarianism focuses on individual actions rather on rules. Rules utilitarianism hold that although adhering to this might not always maximize good in a particular situation, but adhering to moral rules will ultimately lead to the most goods. That's all from me. I will pass to my friends.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Hadi bin Zulisham. My ID number is EA18167. So I'm going to talk about and I'm going to present about duty ethics and right ethics under the topic of analysis and recommendation. So before that, I want to thank my friend Muhammad Azmi for his presentation. So what is duty ethics and right ethics? So duty ethics stated that they are duties that should and should not be performed, whether these acts leads to the most good or not. Duty ethics as well emphasize on individual well-being. I mean your personality, your attitude, and so on. Duty ethics is interrelated with right ethics. It's very similar. One of the ethical actions that can be classified in the list of duties is not cause suffering to others. It is an engineer's duties to ensure that their design is safe to public. When the design are accepted and used in a daily life, it is an honor and recognition to engineer. It's one of the ways to express their gratitude to make sure that their design does not cause any harm or side effect to user. In this case, proper designing should have been done before the construction. So the next one I'm going to talk about is virtue ethics. What is virtue ethics? Fundamentally, basically, virtue ethics is interested in determining what kind of people should we be. Virtue ethics is, or you can say that, in other words, you can say that it is something that you can appreciate the action, whether it is good or bad, based on the character trait supported by the action. One of the best examples for engineer to show a good ethic is taking responsibility. A responsible engineer can be deduced from the incident. It could be the mistake made either on purpose or unintentionally. Virtue is often defined as a moral distinction, and in goodness, a virtuous person exhibits good and beneficial qualities. Virtue ethics actions are considered right if they support a good character, I mean the good traits, and wrong if they support a bad characters. I think that's all for me. So I'm going to pass the presentation to one of my friends. Thank you.
Hello, Assalamualaikum and good evening. I speak to lecturer Dr. Ahmad Kasaruddin and my fellow friend. I am Ahmad Ati Afiki bin Ahmad Razman, ID EA18161, and today I will present about duty ethics, right ethics, and whistleblowing. Now, let's go to the duty ethics and right ethics. Okay, as you see on the screen, duty ethics and right ethics. Duty ethics state that there are duties that should and should not be performed, no matter this act lead to the most of good or not. Duty and right ethics emphasize on the individual well-being. Duty ethics is interrelated with right ethics. One of ethical action that can be classified in the list of duty is not to cause suffering to others. It is engineer duty to ensure that their design are safe to the public. When the design are accepted and used in daily life, it is honor and recognition to the engineer. So one of the way to express their gratitude is to make sure that the design does not cause any harm or side effect to the user. In this case, proper designing should have been done before the construction. Next is whistleblowing. Whistleblowing describes the disclosure of unethical or illegal wrongdoing within the organization by an employee to the public or the higher management. Four different forms of whistleblowing are internal whistleblowing, external whistleblowing, anonymous whistleblowing, and acknowledged whistleblowing. Report the wrongdoing to someone who can take action against it. That's all for me for today. Thank you for lending me your ears.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Syamil bin Kamar. Now we continue for the next part about the Code of Ethics parts. There are 4 points for the Code of Ethics part related for this topic. First one is an SPE engineer shall at all times strive to serve the public interest. The second code is IEE to improve the understanding by individuals and society of the capabilities and society implication of conventional and emerging technologies, including intelligent systems. The third code is NSPE. Engineers shall avoid all conduct or practice that deceive the public. And the last code is IEE to avoid injuring others, their property, reputation, or employment by false or malicious action. We go to the first code, NSPE. Engineers shall at all times strive to serve the public interest. Discussion 1 is engineers are encouraged to participate in civic affairs, career guidance for young, and work for the advancement of the safety, health, and well-being of their community. The second discussion is engineers shall not complete, sign, or sell plans and or specifications that are not in conformity with applicable engineering standard. If the client or employer insists on such unprofessional conduct, they shall notify the proper authorities and withdraw from further service on the project. Second code, NSPE, engineers shall avoid all conduct or practice that deceive the public. Engineers shall avoid the use of statement containing a material misrepresentation of fact or omitting a material fact. Second, consistent with the foregoing, engineer may advertise for recruitment of personnel. The disaster, flood, score, earthquake, landslide, wind, and other, and human factor improper design or construction method. The tragedy causing loss of the reputation, credibility, and trusted by social and break the IE code clauses 2. This means this related about the break about the to avoid injuring other, their property, reputation, or employment by false or malicious action. However, the responsible party shall strive in improving their knowledge to develop more system design, stability of material to prevent this mistake based on IE Code Ethics Clauses 1. This mean or refer to improve the understanding by individuals and society of the capabilities and society implication of conventional and emerging technologies, including intelligent systems.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Nuraini binti Cik Uhaimi. I will present about the conclusion that we can conclude from the Tacoma Naval Bridge collapse tragedy. Many of the ethical issues can be learned by the engineer as an experience to avoid repeating the mistake. As an engineer, the theoretical base fundamental must wrong. The failure of a bridge construction need to be addressed from poor construction, stage planning and execution of civilian up to the stage operational. The lesson learned from failure will help evolving knowledge and technology. The history of failure is invaluable record of human experience. As an engineer, we relate this case tragedy to NSPE and IEEE. NSPE is the National Society of Professional Engineers stand today as the only organization committed to addressing the professional concern of licensed PEs across all disciplines, while IEEE is the world's largest technical professional organization dedicated to addressing technology for the benefit of humanity. Thank you for the our thank you from the our group.